If there were 100 dicks on the wall, how many do you think I'd choke on?
Right out of the gate. There's not a safe answer here. Oh,
Just give me a number.
0.
Well, yeah, because I'm a pro.
Oh, Jesus Christ. For the viewers at home, I have brought my emotional support hat with me.
Welcome to Appropriately Inappropriate with Tara and Brian. You may know us from Instagram or TikTok, where I horrify Brian with dirty pickup lines. On this podcast, you're going to get more of us, which will include hilarious stories, answering listener questions, as well as sharing what y'all send to us. Make sure to DM us on Instagram or comment what you like so we know what to give you more of. Follow us too at Tara Blair Ball on Instagram and TikTok, or at Tara.BlairBall on YouTube. Our full episodes will also appear on YouTube. One of our listeners wrote a poem that I think you'll like. Brian is red, violets are blue. He's terrified of what you're going to do.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting in this chair asking for more.
Also, since we talked about both of us being nerds on our last episode, a listener suggested I start calling you Girth Vader.
Oh my gosh. The hat.
So, Girth Vader, at the end of the last episode, you said you were going to tell our listeners what your craziest gift was. You want to go ahead and do that?
Not really, but I will. Let me set it up a little bit. So, my wife has a group of friends that she's been friends with for years. And we've done stuff with a couple of them here and there, but never really hung out. So, we get invited to the Christmas party. I get there and I learn really quickly all the women are really, really good friends. All the men are really, really good friends. And me. So we do a
Secret Santa.
Yeah, Secret Santa. So the woman who picked my name, we had never met ever. Everybody stands in front. They look in their gift. They pull it out. They show everybody. My turn. I get up there. I open my gift, and I do not want to pull it out. And everyone's like, "You've got to show it. You've got to show it." And my left hand is ball wash, and my right hand is nut rub.
She knew I was down there on a regular basis, and she wanted to make sure that you were practicing good ball hygiene.
Well, all the thoughts going through my head is like, one, did my wife say something? Like, do I have a problem she hasn't communicated?
Were you a little insecure?
Would you get something like that? Absolutely. Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah, if you gave me like a pussy wash, pussy rub, I think I would be concerned as well. I'd be like, what's going on down there that you're not telling me? But I wasn't the one getting you the present. It was a friend, and hopefully she didn't know what your balls were smelling like.
That was the first time we were met. Absolutely not. But the thing that flashed back in my head is I remember in college, one of my good friends that was a woman told me, like, guys talk stuff about women all the time, but what guys don't realize is they smell down there. So, like, that immediately flashed in my head, like, I was a little paranoid.
I think it's really thoughtful that you were concerned that your balls were stinky.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's thoughtful.
All right. For the record, they are not.
How often do you smell them?
Never, but I wash.
So I actually have a crazy gift story myself. You want to hear?
Have I ever heard it before?
Probably. I'm pretty certain I've told you. It's been some years, though.
Okay. Curiosity.
Okay. When I was a freshman in college, I got super into buying sex toys. Not surprising, just because of my personality. But at the time, I'm not sure if they still do this, but when you would buy a sex toy, you would get these like goofy freebies. For example, I got a Groucho Marx glasses, but then the nose was a dildo. Okay. I found them hilarious. So I would keep them on my dorm room desk, just a bunch of them. And my roommate, shout out to Laura, if you happen to be listening to this, she also had sex toys. And we would kind of just leave them out for display. I went to an all-women's college also, by the way. one day she calls me and she goes, "Hey, my dad and stepmom are coming to the dorm room to visit," because they hadn't visited yet. So it was probably pretty early, like maybe September, October. And she was like, "Can you clean up the room?" And I had become so used to these things being on my desk that I just was blind to them. They just were always out. I would never think about taking them off whenever anybody came into our room. I just didn't think about it.
Did you
So
at least dust them?
I did not dust them, but I mean, there were clothes on the floor. So I picked up the clothes and shoved them in the closet. And there were some dirty dishes. And I took them down to the community sink area to wash. So I did all this stuff to clean up the room. But I had left all of my sex toys on my desk. And my roommate had also made her bed and for whatever reason had put her sex toys on top of my desk. We also had a community box of tampons. It was like 200 or 300 tampons, this giant box of tampons that was on top of my desk. So my desk is, just to recap, covered with sex toys and then a giant box of tampons.
Just a guess, you didn't study at that desk often, right?
I just would move them to my bed. So if I was in my bed, I would have the sex toys on the desk because I don't remember having a dresser or much of anything in our room to keep our stuff. So anyway, I had at the time sex toys, giant box of tampons. So my roommate comes to the room with her dad and her stepmom, and she opens the door and she's like, "Hey, Dad, this is Tara." And I immediately see her dad, and her stepmom's eyes all look to me and then immediately go to my desk.
Oh my gosh.
And Laura turns to me and she goes, "I called you and told you to clean up." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I just didn't think about it. I just was blind to it." Okay. Her dad and stepmom just kind of played it off. They just kind of were like, "Oh, okay, this is your dorm room and your roommate. Nice to meet you." And she showed him the campus. Fast forward to around Christmas time. I don't remember if her dad brought it or if she picked it up, but her dad had gotten me a Christmas present. And I remember I was thinking, "Oh, that's really nice." You know, he bought his daughter's roommate a Christmas present. How nice. And so I opened it up and it's rechargeable batteries.
Fitting.
Now, it didn't connect immediately what the rechargeable batteries were for. I was like, "Thanks. I'm so glad you got me rechargeable batteries." And she looks at me dead in the eye and she's like, "You know why he got those for you, right?"
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so that was my craziest gift. It was very practical.
Yeah, it was. I would have been horrified. Oh my gosh.
If that had happened to you, or if you were the parent, or
Uh, Actually, dude, now I'm of age. Like, I could be the parent, and it's such, oh my gosh. Now I'm
yeah,
even more horrified.
our oldest is the same age I was when that happened.
Oh, I don't want to say, oh no.
Yeah, but hopefully you'd be as cool as they were. Just kind of handle it, and you're like, "Okay."
Oh,
So I asked our listeners their wildest or craziest gifts. This first one, the nudes of your husband that I guess will send this follower for their birthday.
what? Huh?
Somebody said that their wildest or craziest gifts will be the nudes of your husband that we are going to send this follower for their birthday.
Are we talking me?
That's what it was. That's what they said.
There's no nudes out there, and we are not sending anybody any. Oh my God.
Oh, well, they were hoping. They were
Oh,
hoping. You just dashed their hopes.
I am flattered. But no.
Next one is teeth. On my wedding anniversary, my mother unexpectedly sent me my baby teeth.
Like, did she know they were coming?
No, unexpectedly is the key word here. And I guess it's kind of nice. Like, "Oh, I collected these when you were young, and now you are an adult and starting your own life. Here is what I kept from you."
What do you do with those?
I don't know. I would throw them away
Yeah.
if I received that. The next one is a practical gift, an after sex towel.
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah, we have a sex blanket, I think is what it's called.
You're just
Like,
putting that out there.
I
Oh my
think
God.
I think it's a practical tool for the people that are lovemaking. listening to our podcast. It's sometimes called a squirt blanket.
Oh my God,
But it's
honey.
for
Jesus.
when things get messy, and it's just like a waterproof blanket.
Oh, I'm going to sit here with my hat over my face for the rest of this episode.
We'll make sure to link in the show notes the sex blanket that we have used. It's very practical, very useful. We've had it for years.
I'm hoping the lighting's off in here because I know I am red. I can feel it.
Oh, you look almost the same color as your pullover, burgundy.
Gosh, Jesus.
The next one is the first season of Melrose Place.
Were they a Melrose Place fan?
I mean, there was no other information provided. So the fact that they submitted this for wildest or craziest gifts, I would imagine not.
Okay, so I could see Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, Friends.
Like
Yeah.
thinking, oh, like this was an amazing show. I think you'll like it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone bought a season of Melrose Place for me, I'd be like, what?
All right. To be fair, they always say
Just the thought that counts.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, and I apologize to all of you, that have received a lot of bad gifts from me over the years. I didn't know what to get them, and I would see something, I think, oh, they might like that. They probably would have rather had the cash, but
What's an example of a bad gift that you've given?
I bought my dad one year build a ship in a bottle. He didn't collect ships in the bottle. It was just something I saw, and I thought, oh, he might like that. I saw it on the shelf for years and years and years. He never built it. It sat there, never was used until he passed away. But my thinking there was like, oh, this might be something we can do one day. I was off at college. I didn't live there, so I don't know when we were going to find the time to do it, but that's an example.
It's not so awful. I don't know.
It would have made more sense if he actually built ships.
Oh, well, yeah, it would have made more sense, but it was a nice thought. This next one is a journal for living life with a small penis. I hope that was a joke present, not like, here, honey, I really want you to work through this therapeutically.
Oh, gosh, that would be scarring for a man.
So you got a birthday in a couple months, so I need to find a journal for living with a gigantic
Oh, my
penis.
God, honey,
So
Jesus Christ.
she can like work through that.
That back over face.
This next one and the last one, a straight man not interested in backdoor action received a traffic cone size purple vibrator.
Oh my gosh. I guess someone's dropping a hint.
Yeah, I wonder what, and our listeners may want to DM or comment. If you were to receive that, would you use it? Would you regift it? Would you display it as a conversation piece? Or what might be something else they could do with it?
Oh, I would do option 4, quietly dispose of it.
Quietly dispose of it. If you have not yet told us your wildest or craziest gift, make sure to DM or comment, and also let us know what you would do if you received a traffic cone size purple vibrator. Brian, you were recently in San Antonio, and there was something you did while you were there that showed that you know and love me so well.
Oh. Yeah, so we went out to eat barbecue one night. We were in Texas. You got to go eat Texas barbecue. Well, the restaurant we picked, there was only parking behind the building. So we parked back there, and I was walking up. I see these 2 signs, one on each side of the door. So for my beautiful bride, I'd take a picture and I send it. And it says, backdoor guests are back. There was a couple in front of me, and they were stopped and opened the door to let us in. And I leaned over and I took the picture, and they just bust out laughing. And they're like, oh, we're about to do the same thing. So
I thought it was very romantic. I was like, ah, he's thinking about me.
oh, yes, you did respond. Oh, that's so romantic. I was hoping for a laugh.
You gotta laugh, definitely. All right. So the question that we've gotten multiple times actually is, how did you know the other was the one?
Oh, wow. I knew fast within the first 30 days. I was married before and always swore I would never get married again. Like I dated, but I was never getting married. And I met you, and I knew really quick, like I'm going to end up married to this woman. I don't know if it was a feeling I had in my mind of like what I wanted, and you checked all the boxes.
I think this is such a good question because it's hard to know, but I knew so clearly with you. I too was married before, and I had been dating for several months. Brian and I met on Tinder. We've talked about this in our content before that we met on Tinder. And I went on plenty of dates with nice people. I went on dates where I just was just going on dates and just seeing what that was and seeing what it was like. I hadn't dated in about 10 years. So I was exploring what I liked, what I didn't like. And then I started being more serious about it, like dating with the intention of a serious relationship. And I'd been doing that for a bit and I just wasn't finding anybody that I was interested enough to pursue something serious with. And then I matched with Brian, and Brian had a single profile picture, his name, his age, and his job title. And I remember when I saw his profile and the fact that he had nothing written in his single photo, the thing that had jumped out at me is Brian has a really good smile. He has these dimples. And I just saw that and I was like, oh, he seems nice and genuine. And to be honest, when you're a woman scrolling on dating apps, the majority of men do not smile. That was a big thing where I was like, oh, he's smiling. I bet he's someone genuine, someone nice. I'm going to swipe right on him. And if he matches with me, I'm going to help him improve his profile so he can get some ladies. Brian matched with me and we start chatting. And one of the first things I asked him was, do you want some advice on how to improve your profile? People are like, Brian has no riz, Brian has no game. Brian can handle himself. He immediately was able to very smoothly transition me trying to friend zone him pretty much, or friend zone myself or whatever, into us going to dinner. And the first time we went to dinner, I just felt like I could really easily be myself. I felt like this is a person that's genuine and honest and transparent. And I felt like I could be genuine, honest, and transparent. And I heard a quote not too long ago, maybe like a few weeks ago, that was like, marry someone that you could feel like you could have a lifetime of conversation with. And I love that quote because that's Brian for me. I knew very early on that I could just have a conversation with him and hang out with him. And I genuinely enjoy like hanging out with him. That's why I like that we do our content together now. That's why this podcast is so cool, is because I get to hang out with my best friend.
Yeah, we're absolutely best friends. There's no one else I'd rather hang out with than my wife.
But I think that's a good way to think about it, is if someone is the one, are they someone you can imagine yourself having a lifetime of conversations with?
You're just kind of in a bad spot now. Like, I have to be able to have conversations because I'm getting older. The looks are going away. So
Oh, come on.
you're stuck with me.
Next week, what's your cliffhanger?
Thought about sharing what I was going to do to get you back.
Okay.
So, yeah, people are just going to have to watch that in real time because I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me. I think squirting is always a good topic of conversation.
Jesus, no.
Uh,
Oh, I could share my most horrible date.
well, it had to have been with me because you haven't dated anyone other than me.
Yeah, I've never had a bad date, honey.
Next week, we are going to finally answer the rumors of whether we are pregnant with baby number 5. Make sure to subscribe, download, like, and follow for that. If you aren't following us on social media yet, you can find us on Instagram or TikTok at Tara Blairball, or on YouTube at Tara.Blairball. And our full video episodes are all up on our YouTube. If you like this podcast, also make sure to write a review. Until next time, keep it inappropriate.
Happy hump day.